My wife was complaining about this light in the laundry room the last couple of days. It started flickering like crazy. I told her she'd been watching too much of that Ghost Adventure stuff because it looked like the props that they use. But I finally got around to replacing the light for her. We went down to Costco yesterday, and they had these Skylight ultra thin LED panels on sale. They were regular like $60, marked down with $20 off. So it looked like it would be a nice fit for the room, and it looked like a nice size and everything. So I decided to try one, and this is the unboxing of it. I unboxed it, and there it is. It's basically a flat light panel and a adapter bracket that hangs on the ceiling to just snap it into. And there are some wires there that you have to hang it from when you're installing it. So I figured I'd show you, go through the install of this panel and just give you an idea of what it involves. And you need a 1/4-inch drill bit. I've got some electric tape. You don't necessarily need that. A Phillips head screwdriver. I need a little hammer and a ruler. So first thing I did is I turned it on and I went down and I turned off the main power or circuit breaker. I had my wife watch it and yell down. And while we're in the laundry room, I thought I'd give you an update. These Maytag washer and dryers that we got a while back, she just loves them. So she's real happy with that. I see people asking that question all the time. And then it's time to remove the old light. Now this was a LED fixture that is only about, I think it's about 3 to 4 years old, no more than that. I picked it up at Home Depot. I went down there looking for a new light fixture and decided to go with one of these because it said that it was a 50,000 hour fixture, and I guess they mean 50,000 hours whether it's on or off or something like that. But basically it only lasted a couple years, and I mean this room does get a lot of on-off switching in it. So, that could be part of the problems. But first thing I did is I removed the old light there. And you can see it's just, I had to take all the brackets and everything off that were in the ceiling. And then it's time to just put this panel for the new light in place to mark the holes to drill the mounting holes. And that lines up with the holes in the box to just hold it temporarily. And you can see there's a little black arrow on there, and you want to, just watch that for when you put the light fixture on. I'll show you in a little while, but that's the direction the light fixture has to line up in. So I just put it on that box with the screws fairly loose, and now it's a matter of getting it aligned with I'm using the wall to align it with, just so that the light fixture will be sitting parallel to the wall. So I just kept measuring both sides and tweaking it a little bit until I got it down to a perfect measurement. Then I took a pencil, and there's 4 slots there that you have to mark out, and this is how it mounts to the ceiling. So those holes marked, you just have to remove that panel again so you can drill them and put in the inserts. Now I got really lucky. The first 2 holes that I drilled there actually hit a one of the studs or the rafters in the ceiling, so that joist, I guess you call it, in the ceiling, and the other 2 had nothing there, so I'm going to need the inserts in them. So like I said, it's a 1/4-inch drill bit that you use according to the instructions, and then they give you some little plastic anchors that fit in the 1/4-inch holes, and it did take me a little hammer to get them to seat up in there. They were a little bit tight to push in place. And then the other 2 holes, like I said, there's a piece of wood up there to screw right into, so they don't need them. But if you have a hollow, it's sheetrock up there, you're going to need all 4 of them. Then it's time to just get it back up on the box here. Just start I started the screws, and then went back and put the 4 the bigger screws that hold it in place. And I use the same screws. They work in the wood or they work in the anchor, so you don't have to worry about that. So this bracket here is about the hardest part of the entire installation of this light. Then once the bracket's in place, there's a ground wire up there, and there's a place to hook it to on the metal plate. So what you have to do is wrap it around the screw and tighten that down. And then the light itself has a couple of hangers with a like a little snap on them to hook onto a little tab hanging down there. And they are really stiff, hard to get started, and you have to hold this light up in the air while you're doing it. So, you know, you may want to have somebody else help hold the light up while you're trying to get them hooked. But they just keep it suspended while you're doing all the wiring, so that makes it a little bit easier to install. And once it's hanging there, what you do is I just hooked up the wires. The green ground wire went to the bare copper wire coming out of the ceiling, and the white wire goes to the white wire, and the black wire goes to the black wire. And you just have to make sure that the little wire nuts are really tight on there. And, you know, just make sure you yank on the wires when you get them tight. Make sure you've got everything mounted right. And definitely, if you have any doubt about, you know, hooking up wires or anything like that, you should hire an electrician to do that. But, you know, this is pretty straightforward for me, and you just want to make sure those wires are really good tight together. And then I like to go back and just put a little piece of electrical tape on there, just to make sure that you know, the nuts will never back off or anything like that, which they shouldn't anyway if they're tight enough. So then comes a kind of a tough part of it, and that's trying to get all that extra wire now up through the hole in that plate and into the little box in the ceiling. So that does, you kind of have to hold the light up as you're going up with one hand and push it in, and then you can start to you can hook to one side on that bracket as you're going up there. And once you see the white sleeve on the wires go up in the box, then you know you can push this up and slide it in place. And I had a little bit of a tough time getting it started. I think the ceiling's not quite perfectly level. I kind of had to get under it and give it a really good push. And then you slide it forward, and there it is. It's all mounted. So the mounting is really easy, you know, once you get it up, that plate up there. And this is what the old light looked like. It was, I would not recommend buying anything like this after seeing how short the life was on the unit I bought. And then it's just a matter of cleaning up, and people ask about this little dinky vacuum cleaner that I did the review on, and yes, it still works good. I use it all the time for little messes like this. It's not really good for the whole house, because if the filter plugs up too quick, you have to clean it a couple times. But you know, for like little sheetrock dust and cleanups like this, I grab it all the time, and it does do a good job. So there it is. I turned the power back on, turned the light on, and it worked. And it's just a really nice light, much better light than the other one for the room. It really does, you know, light everything up well, and it's a 4000K color. And turn it on and off, and you know, we're really happy with it. Looks like it should work, and let's just hope it lasts a little bit longer than my last LED fixture. And I know a lot of other people shop at Costco, and you know, I picked this up there, and I just thought I'd do a quick overview of what it takes to install it for anybody that may have a question about that. And last night we just had an amazing sunset. I could not believe the color of the sky. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.